Good night, itchy eyes. Good night, sudden sneeze. Good night to your symptoms of allergies. Xyzal is the allergy medicine you take before bed. It provides powerful relief while you rest your head. Not just all night, but all the next day. Xyzal keeps working, keeping allergies at bay. And without those annoying symptoms disturbing your rest, you can wake up the next morning feeling your absolute best. Remember, be wise all, take Xyzal at night.
Vitamin Water Zero Sugar has great taste, zero BS, and obviously zero sugar. For those with zero room in their calendar, zero patience for slow walkers, those who get 0 hours of sleep on a Saturday night, have zero filter, zero given, and zero interest in grabbing a plain, boring water. Grab a delicious Vitamin Water Zero Sugar today.
Hey, this is Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast, here to help you make the most of your summer with Michelob Ultra, a superior light beer worth playing for. Play for it with the guys when you're competing to see who can sink more birdies on the golf course, because winning tastes even better with Ultra on the line. Play for Ultra. Fill your fridge with Michelob Ultra this summer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of Keep Watch Pass on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel. All right, we're getting back to filmography deep dives, kind of like we did last week, but oh my god, do we have one cool mofo that we are covering this week. We are talking about movies starring Idris Elba. And here to cancel the apocalypse with me, my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Clearly, you don't remember his epic going into battle speech from Pacific Rim. A speech that is right up there with the one from the one and only Bill Pullman from Independence Day. Like literally one of the greatest going into battle speeches in movie history. And of course, you know him from completely different films.
I do, actually. I would have guessed a different presidential speech that perhaps we might talk about
fair
later.
And fair. But yeah, we're talking about Idris Elba this week. And if you're sitting there asking yourself, well, why Idris Elba? Well, you guys know. If you follow this podcast channel enough, you know that occasionally we like a little bit of synergy. So, seeing as how we are at the beginning of what we like to call, and it's not that bad, Mocktober. The very first movie that we are covering in Mocktober this year is Atlantic Rim, which is, of course, the mockbuster of Pacific Rim. So it's only fitting that we tackle the works of Idris Elba. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to pick 3 films each. A keep, a watch, and a pass. The Keep is a film that very much would cancel the apocalypse. The Watch is one that would sit on the sidelines and meander about the apocalypse. And the Pass may very well be the apocalypse itself. So, Carrie, I'm going to start with you. Your Keep pick for movies starring the one and only Idris Elba.
You know, when I talk about the Avengers,
Mm-hmm.
you know that I'm most likely going to praise The Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
But not today.
Not today.
Not today. I am going with the Snapture. I am going to pick Infinity War.
I mean, let's be very, 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 very blunt about this. There is an argument out there, and I'm sure many people would probably agree, that until proven otherwise, Avengers Infinity War might be the very best, the greatest superhero film of all time. And I recognize, I'm talking in a genre that, yes, The Dark Knight does exist. The Dark Knight is fantastic. I recognize that there are other movies that you would make arguments for. Maybe you might argue for the original Tim Burton Batman. I know. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Yep, I may argue that. But even with that said, you cannot, I mean, it would be very difficult to
top the grandioseness.
replicate the impact that this movie had on theater goers.
Yeah. I mean, this is like a 10-year buildup to get to this point. They've been teasing Thanos since I think it was 2010 in the first Avengers film. And yes, I recognize that Idris Elba as Heimdall in this film has a very, very small yet pivotal role right off the bat. But this is one of those films that told you right away they weren't messing around, because Heimdall goes out like a boss in this.
I actually had to ask off recording, who's Heimdall? Because it was...
See, you're lucky you have a geek of a husband that could sit there and completely answer with backstory as well.
Exactly, but it's a character that always kind of was lost on me. Like, I don't know if it's fair or not, but he wasn't one of the main Avengers, not one that you think of anyway.
I will admit, and before I say this, I'm going to warn you all that what I'm going to say does contain spoilers for Thor, Love and Thunder. And I recognize that many of you have probably avoided that film like the plague because, well, the internet exists. So, be forewarned, spoilers like a mofo. I love the fact that in the end post-credit scene of Thor, Love and Thunder, we got to see Heimdall again because he had gone to Valhalla. Because when you go out like he does in Infinity War, you earn your wings and you go to Valhalla. So damn right. It was such a great little cameo at the end of the film. May actually be the best part of that film because Thor, Love and Thunder has some problems.
And it wasn't until you said that and drew that parallel that I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Okay, that's who we're talking about.
Exactly. See, this is what happens, right? Cute girl marries geek husband. Geek husband then spends the entirety of the marriage explaining geek things to cute girl. It's all good.
And then you gave me a microphone.
Right.
So you can explain
geek
these things
to cute girl while everyone else listens to it.
To the world.
Exactly.
You can share your geekdom.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. So for my keep pick, I'm actually going to stay in the MCU realm. And I say that because like the Idris Elba filmography, it's not big. And before anyone sits there and says, yeah, what about Luther? And I recognize that there was a film made out of Luther. Yes, he kills, he slays in the Luther TV series, but we're talking movies here. So you have to kind of take Luther out of the equation, even though I love British TV. He was phenomenal in it. If we were including TV shows, we could talk about Luther. We can't talk about Luther today. But what we can talk about is Thor Ragnarok. I did say, yes, Love and Thunder has problems. Yes, it does. Thor Ragnarok has none. Thor Ragnarok is a ton of fun. Thor Ragnarok literally brought the fun back to Thor. And it's funny because I take a look at the Thor series of movies. The only Avenger to have 4 films. The only one. Captain America has 3.
Hulk?
Iron Man has 3. Hulk has 1. Hulk is in different movies, but actual individual films, Thor is the only one who has hit 4. And Ragnarok is the one that hit on all levels. Now, I love the first one. I love what Richard Branagh did as a director. I love the epic scale. Because, I mean, really, the Thor character steeps itself not only in, of course, mythology, but in a very Shakespearean style. So having Richard Branagh as your director is almost the perfect choice to introduce Thor, especially when you are building all these films to kind of be their own genre. The first Captain America film, it's like a World War II style film and lives in that realm. Iron Man is its own thing. Hulk is its own thing. Thor was something different. It literally took all its inspiration from the comic books. I love how that one went. Thor the Dark World is the one MCU, initial Infinity Saga film that I would skip on. I have yet to put that movie on and not fall asleep. But then Thor Ragnarok comes out and it's amazing. It's perfect. Even Jeff Goldblum in all his Jeff Goldblumness.
I was actually going to say he was the best part of the movie.
But the thing is, Thor Ragnarok was the only film, and yes, he went out like a boss in Infinity War, but it was a very small part. Heimdall was heroic in Thor Ragnarok. So you take a look at all the films. Yeah, he appeared in Age of Ultron, and, but only in kind of like these weird dream sequence kind of things. He was a boss. Just a boss. This is the one film that did Heimdall justice. That being said, I did love the Heimdall presence in the first season of What If. In that episode where, like, what if Thor was an only child? That is the funniest episode of What If season 1. Loved it. For my watch film, I'm sticking in my geek culture, but I'm stepping out of the MCU. I'm stepping out of comic book realm, and I'm stepping into space with Star Trek Beyond. Now, before anyone sits there and says, how dare I pick a film from the modern day Star Treks, this is the one that was directed by Justin Lin. He of directorial fame from some of the Fast and Furious films. This is not one of the J.J. Abrams films. And I will admit, this is my least favorite of those 3 modern day Star Trek films. But that being said, I like the fact that even though they took the poster and they tried their best to make it look like the poster from Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, because, of course, Into Darkness was basically a modern-day alternate universe telling of The Wrath of Khan, minus the earworms. You're welcome. But there was something still fun about this. I love the cast they built for Star Trek, the modern-day Star Trek. Chris Pine is so good as Captain Kirk. Zachary Quinto was Spock. Carl Urban as Dr. McCoy. Nary a grumpier person out there who could have pulled off that role as well as he did.
I would have thought Sam Elliott would have been a good contender.
Way too old for the crew that they're building for Star Trek. Carl Urban is perfect in that ensemble. And again, I love Simon Pegg. He's not Scotty. He co-wrote a good script for Star Trek Beyond, but he's not Scotty.
See, I kind of liked him in that. I did.
Okay, and maybe this is just me drawing parallels to what James Doohan did, because James Doohan especially when he got to the movies, right? Older James Doohan. You talk about someone on the original movie cast who just came across as so freaking huggable and adorable. That's James Doohan. And then if you watch the documentary of Trekkies, he has this heartfelt story. James Doohan literally was the best people. But I like this cast. And even though it's not my favorite of the modern Star Trek films, that's still not bad. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it exactly for what it was.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it?
easy with a new Galaxy Watch 8. Sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
All right. Over to you, your watch pick.
I'm going with a different fandom and choosing a video game property.
Oh?
I am. I'm watching Sonic 3 for the character of Knuckles because, oh my God, he just absolutely made Knuckles so angry and unlikable, yet so lovable. I mean, come on.
I mean, the voice of Idris Elba is undeniable, right? But I mean, the other thing too is that obviously it's a comedic take. Knuckles is a fun take on the character.
Knuckles was a force, and I love the turnaround. I love that he wound up joining Sonic and crew.
Like, I remember when his first appearance in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 came out. And, of course, you hear the voice and it's like, oh, dang! Knuckles gonna make the hearts aflutter in the theaters because it's Idris Elba. And 3 is just fun. It is fun. I know our kids loved it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is what it is. I mean, it's definitely a movie aimed for the kids. And sometimes when that happens, but the writing is also there for the adults, I found the writing not quite there for the adults.
But it was still a fun watch.
The Jim Carrey plus Jim Carrey dance scene I could have done without.
Oh, that was our boy's favorite part.
I know. It wasn't mine.
It was fun, though.
For what it was.
It was a fun watch. I'd watch it again.
I wouldn't put it in my pass category, but I don't think I'd put it in my watch category.
Harsh.
I would be more interested in, I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it yet. I'd be more interested in watching the Knuckles TV series that's on Paramount Plus. And I say that because, and we've talked about this before, Turbo, the movie, it's okay. Turbo Fast, the series, was a ton of fun. I'll probably sit down and watch this at some point. I will find myself probably enjoying the Knuckles series a little bit more because you have the time to, keep the jokes in short time spans, but also develop the character a little bit more. All right. I have a feeling I know what your pass pick is.
Yeah, I kind of dropped the spoiler in the opening. You're right. You're absolutely right. So let's share with the audience. And I just want to say, I'm not passing on my sweet candy man, John Cena. I'm not.
Please listen to past episodes for the inside story of why John Cena is her sweet candy man.
The backstory to that.
Right. I'm not going to sit here and explain it again because I want you, the dear listeners, to go back and find out why he is the sweet candy man to my lovely wife, Carrie, and why I'm okay with it. But go on.
And there are many reasons. There's actually an awesome interview clip with John Cena. I think it was at a film festival circuit or something, right? So he's being interviewed and clearly there was a bit of a backstory. The interviewer had flown 12 hours to get there to interview him.
Mm-hmm.
And he turns the question over to the interviewer and asks the interviewer basically how he's doing. Right? It's not about him. It's not about promoting the movie. He turned and had that human moment where, he was like, no, really, how are you doing? You flew a long way to come here. You must be tired. Are you doing okay? Are you having a good day? And it was just like, whoa, what a nice thing to do.
He's been having one heck of a goodbye tour with WWE currently, and
he's having fun with it.
He's having fun with it. And it's one of those things where I think it's one of those things I can safely say that even if I don't like the film that John Cena is in, I don't think there's anything John Cena has done thus far in his career that would make me hate him.
Exactly. And it makes me so sad to pass on a John Cena movie. So I'm passing on Heads of State. The reason being, I think I wanted more haha. I wanted more funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I found it to be a little bit too long. It was an hour and 56. And I think that it overstayed its welcome. I think it was, I don't want to say boring, because there were definitely some exciting moments,
And
especially in the airplane.
The banter between the two of them
was so great.
And that carried over well from the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
However, I just felt like going into it, I was so excited to watch this movie. I was waiting for it, because I would see like teasers and trailers, and I'm like, we have to watch this movie. And when I watched it, I found myself going, is it over yet? Are we there yet?
Kind of like The Hitman's Bodyguard. Like when you watch the trailer and like, this is going to be awesome. Then you watch it. It's like, the trailer was awesome. That's about it. I mean, I look at it a lot like True Memoirs of an International Assassin, a movie that we had covered recently on the Netflix Originals Grading on a Curve episode, where the premise is there. The premise is great. The plot is good, but it stayed too much in the I want to be an action hero stage and wasn't the slapstick comedy that I think Kevin James could have delivered a little bit better. This had the action. There was no question about that. But I think it was missing, and it had the banter, but I think it was missing some of the crazy antics that I think would have elevated it to a great action comedy.
For the record, though, this is not a knock on John Cena
or Idris Elba.
Idris Elba's performance. Like, they were fantastic. They were funny. Again, the banter, at first they just kind of like disliked each other, and there was that like tension, and then they're kind of force friends. They form forces kind of out of necessity to stay alive, and there's that dynamic of their relationship changing, right, as the movie goes. And that part was fine. I just found it was too long or plodding. Like, it could have been shorter.
Idris Elba is badass in that, though.
So great. Yeah.
I mean, you can have great actors giving good performances in a script that just doesn't pass muster. But I don't look at that as a pass film. Now, dear listeners, when it comes to pass films, occasionally on the show, we've been around long enough, we've watched a few movies over the years. We come across a film, and then we do our very best to forget that we ever watched that film. But I don't know what mental brain acid I need to pour upon my cranium, or what large claw-like devices I need to dig the images of cats out of my eyes.
Oh dear. Do you need one of those like Men in Black mind erasers?
Do you have one?
If I did.
If you have one, why have you been holding out on me?
There are some movies that I would erase from my...
What geek knowledge must I give you for you to be able to erase the images of cats from my head?
Yeah. And funny enough, this was a Grading on the Curve movie. So, yeah.
Like, I know. We do our best to try to find the good things to say about films on this show. But when it comes to grading, the gloves are off. And thank freaking God, because Cats was one of those films where I'm like, there's no way I can defend this. You have a fantastic cast. You have the biggest pop star in the world. Can't make this better. You have one badass mofo Idris Elba in there. Can't make this better. You have a fantastic performance vocally from Jennifer Hudson in this. Can't make this better. Cats is nightmare fuel boiled in sickening lava, designed as a cinematic psyop to ruin your brain.
Can't you find anything nice to say?
The end credits were nice.
The costumes.
Those weren't costumes. That was like that was CGI name. They made Ian McKellen start licking things. You got to see Rebel Wilson's CGI feline taint, and it wasn't pretty. And don't take me down this road. This is on the same street as E.T. lives.
Oh.
Yeah. And I know right now people are going, E.T. No. Therapy, bills, E.T. I don't know. Like, we've been to musicals. We can suspend disbelief enough to watch someone in a cat costume sing a song. It's okay. Wear a cat costume, put a little face paint on, it's okay. Get some whiskers going. I will believe you're a cat. The things you did to Judi Dench and Sir Ian McKellen and Idris Elba and Taylor Swift, the things you did to them in CGI should never. That's a war crime, is what that is. I watched a film with weird 80s music about people singing about an apple, and it was better than Cats. Don't watch the apple either. But
would you like some catnip?
I needed catnip to get through this ish.
I think so.
Aye. And I think it's one of the, you know what the worst part about this is? The movie ruined the musical for me. Because you realize that the musical is basically, let's introduce a bunch of different characters and we're going to have a storyline. No, why would we?
You know, the best part is Jersey Girl, where every child does the song from Memories.
I was ready to go like crazy demonic barber on this film.
Are you going to bring the girl to Cats?
When are you going to bring the girl to see the Cats?
Love.
I brought the girl to see the Cats. Regret it. You know, Idris Elba, I don't hold it against you. I don't hold it against anyone in this film. Because when you're there, you're making a movie, you hope that it turns out okay. And when they say, oh yeah, we're going to put some CGI and this is going to be all good. Okay. We're talking about movie magicians, movie wizards who are able to create these epic scenes on the film that draws into new worlds. And then you watch it and go, I'd like to have a word with my agent. Because, yeah, Cats. Just do yourself a favor, dear listeners. Go listen to our episode of Grading on a Curve musicals. Once you get through my singing, I'm sorry, you will be able to listen to a round table of people bemoan their fate that had them sitting down and watching Cats for 2 hours. Justifiably, everyone told me to f*** off because I made them watch Cats. I deserved it. But I had to watch it too, so misery loves company. All right, Carrie, before we go, remind our listeners what your keep, watch, and pass picks are for movies starring Idris. I'm surprised you didn't pick Cats as your pass.
I think I've said enough during grading. I didn't wish to revisit that. Thanks for that.
I brought it back, didn't I?
You had to dig through the litter box, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yep.
The litter box of cinema, and there it is. Your keep, watch, pass picks.
I am keeping Avengers Infinity War, watching Sonic 3, for Knuckles specifically, and I'm passing on Heads of State. I am so sorry, sweet Candyman John Cena and Idris Elba. It is not because of your performance in that movie. I just wanted more haha. I wanted to laugh more.
See, here's the thing. Right now, our dear listeners are going, she calls him Candyman a lot, and you're not freaking out. Now, I get it's not a crush. I get it's not a crush. It is an admiration for everything that John Cena has done, especially when it comes to Make-A-Wish. Like, you got to give credit where credit is due. So, yeah.
If I may, the Sweet Candy Man stems from that I would call him an M&M. I always talk about John Cena as a hard shell exterior that once you break through, you've got a sweet center. And that...
a sweet, mushy center.
Yes. That, friends, is the explanation of my Sweet Candy
now
Man.
they're not going to go back and listen to the show.
He's an M&M.
I'm trying to get downloads and engagement here. And
Possibly.
you're like, screw that. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. One-stop shopping.
Possibly a Smartie, right? Could be, even like a gobstopper, like a hard shell, right? And then once you get through, are you saying gobstoppers are sour?
Are you saying John Cena is like an ogre, which is like an onion that has layers?
Layers, yeah. Yeah. But I don't want to call him an Onion Man. Doesn't sound as nice. Sweet Onion Man.
One of these days, someone's going to stumble upon this podcast, and for some reason, someone in John Cena's inner circle is going to stumble upon this podcast, and they're going to go, dude, they're like calling you Candyman on this podcast. They're saying some weird. I don't disagree with their take on cats, but they're saying some weird shit on that show. You might want to steer clear of Canada. All right, for my keep, I'm picking Thor Ragnarok. For my watch, I'm picking Star Trek Beyond. And for my pass, and may I recommend to all of you pass on Cats. All right, Carrie, thank you so much for this. To you, our dear listeners, well, you guys know the drill. If there is a topic that you want us to cover on Keep Watch Pass, or a movie that you want us to cover on It's Not That Bad, hit us up on social media at Not That Badcast, or go to our website at notthatbadcast.com. And while you're there, we mentioned Grading on a Curve. We have another one coming up at the end of the year where we're going to torment ourselves for your enjoyment. Until next time, she's Carrie, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is Keep Watch Pass on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel and a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.
Listen. That's the sound of the fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron. The sound of captivating electric performance, dynamic drive, and the quiet confidence of ultra-smooth handling. The elevated interior reminds you this is more than an EV. This is electric performance redefined. The fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron.